Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Now this is going to be my play ratings for the Crystal Palace versus Tottenham game. I tried to film this last night, to be honest, and I didn't film it. Well, I started filming it, but then I was just like, you know what, I don't really like how this looks. So I was like, you know what, I'll just forget it and I'll film it tomorrow as I'm filming it now. So that is basically what I'm doing now. So yeah, let's just get into it. I don't really want to focus on this game too much because it is a bit disappointing. It is disappointing, and you know, it was a terrible performance. So I don't really want to focus too much on this game. Obviously, losing 3-0 away to Crystal Palace, you know, it's not the greatest feeling in the entire world, because the thing that annoys me the most is that I had work that day and we finished late. So there's me. I finished at 12:52 exactly, because my sister was staying later. I don't really need to explain that why. I had to walk home. So there's me rushing to get home. I missed the first half because my dad paused the TV just so I could watch the whole thing when I got back. I was doing my love watch along anyways. So I rushed all the way back for that. Like, I swear, whenever I finished late at work, Tottenham always end up losing the game. Or, like, the result is not what we wanted. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it should just be a thing. Like, where we're finishing that, I'm just like, you know what, I'm not going to rush because we're just going to lose. I don't know why that always happens, but it happened, and it happened again. Obviously, there was this situation. We had loads of players missing. So, some due to injury, some because of the COVID situation. So, I was a bit too optimistic, and I underestimated how much these problems would cause us, and also the problems that we had during the match anyways. So everything just kept going wrong. Let's just get into the play rating, and then I have something else that I need to talk about at the end. But first, play ratings. So I'm going to start off Hugo Lloris. I gave Lloris a 6. He made that one good save right at the end of the first half, which probably should have been a goal. If we're being honest, it should have been. He couldn't really do anything else about the other goals, like the penalty. Couldn't really do much about it. 50-50 whether it save it or not. Second one, was it the second or the third one he got a hand to? Was it the second one? Was it the third one? I can't remember which one it was, but he got a hand to one of them, and maybe he could have saved it, I don't know, but I feel like it was right in the corner, but there wasn't really much he could do, you know. He did have that one error where he rolled the ball to Eric Dyer, but it was a bit too far ahead of him, and you know, we'll talk about Dyer a little bit. Well, you know what, why don't we just talk about Dyer now, because he only lasted 10 minutes. Another injury. I don't know how bad it is. Like, I don't think anything's been said about the injuries that we have or how bad or whatever, but he didn't look good. And when he was like sitting on the steps towards the end of the game, he just looked so sad, and I'm just like, it made me sad, like, watching him, because he looks so... I don't know if it's because of the injury, or if it... Obviously, it's probably the result as well. Or mixture of both. Probably mixture of both. But he just looked so sad, and I was like, oh my god, like... I know people have their problems with Eric Dyer, which is, you know... Some of it is, you know, granted and whatever. But I'm not gonna, you know, say like, oh, I'm so glad that you're going to do it, because I wasn't. I mean, come on, guys. Like, seriously, him and Sanchez will do so well at the centre-backs, and then this COVID situation happened, and Sanchez is not there. 10 minutes into the game, Dyer gets injured, so, you know, problems. Moving on to Tanganga, you know what, I have to give it to him, because the most interesting thing that happened in their game was him and Zaha having that little fight they had, which turned into like everyone like getting involved, and I couldn't help but laugh, to be honest. I just found it hilarious, and you probably don't think it was hilarious, but at the time of that like first thing, it was hilarious, and it made me laugh, because the game was boring and I was getting bored. But that spiced it up a bit, you know. That did. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting to go off like that, but I understand when Tanganga, you know, is like, Lucas Moura's down. Like, obviously Crystal Palace, they're not going to kick the ball out because it's not a head injury and the ref hasn't blown his whistle or whatever. But it was funny, like, it was funny, okay, it was funny. And then he gets a yellow card. Well, him and Zaha get a yellow card for a little fight. And then he gets another yellow. So then he gets a red card. He gets sent off. I don't know why I'm smiling, because that's not the vibe I'm going for. But I think it's because I keep picturing the fight in my head. That's why it's funny. Obviously, he is still a young player, and I gave him a 5. Maybe it's a bit too high because he got sent off. But he was playing well before then, you know, the first half. Crystal Palace didn't really threaten that much, neither did we. But we're defending quite well, so there wasn't really anything I could, like, go against him for. But I gave him a 5. Like, yes, he got a red card. Yes, he lost his head. Yes, he let the team down or whatever. But he's still young. He'll learn from this. And, yeah. It happens. You know, he's not the first player to get a card. He ain't going to be last. But that definitely did not help whatsoever. Now, moving on to Rodon, who came on for Eric Dyer. I gave Rodon a 6. He definitely done well when he came on. I can't really fault him, to be honest. Can't really. Even though we did concede 3 goals. But none of them really his fault. He done his best, you know. He was blocking shots and stuff. And, you know, he was defending well. So there's not really much that I can put onto Rodon to think that, oh, that's why we ended up conceding 3 goals. But it's just unfortunate that the way he had to get game time was for another player to get injured. But if Eric Dyer is out for like a while, then I'm sure Rodon will probably come in as centre back maybe. I'm not too like upset about that. Like, I feel like Rodon definitely needs more game time, whether that's Conference League, Premier League, both. Like, I want to see more of him. Now moving on to Emerson. Obviously, he made his debut at right back, and I gave him a 6 as well. I definitely think he had a good performance. Like, people might not think it's a good performance because he lost 3-0, but for me, I feel like he dealt with Zaha okay. Like, there was a few times where he got beaten. But, you know, I thought he was done well. Like, if you look at his stats, like, he definitely had a good game. So I'm excited to see him. And he done well for his debut, to be fair. I'm excited to see because he done well, defended well. Our defence was doing well first half. I think we can admit that. The first half, our defence was good. As for Regulon, I also gave him a 6. He made that goal line clearance, which was insane. I still don't know how that didn't go in. But give credit to Rodon for that. And he did try making things happen, you know, going down the left, but no one's really finding him. There wasn't really anything for him to feed off, and it just wasn't really much going forward. He tried, and that's what I can say about every single player. They were trying. So, moving on to Winks. What can I say about the Harry Winks? I gave him a 4. He didn't really offer nothing in the middle, and there was no creativity coming for him, and that's what he was in the middle for, to create stuff, but it just wasn't happening. To be honest, I don't know much what he did. I can't remember what he did. I can't remember if he did any good things. I can't remember, but I gave him a 4 because I literally can't think of anything. And that's nothing against him, because, you know, I have my, like, Winks is a player that I did want to get sold in the summer, but the fact is here, and like, he had a good performance like in the Conference League. Maybe that's his level, I don't know, but just his performance just wasn't it. It just wasn't it. Skip, I also gave Skip a 6. I definitely feel like he defended well, winning the ball back, and then defended, and like, obviously defended well until we went down 10 men. Then it sort of fell apart, but he definitely was trying. He was trying things, and we have a good player with Skip. Obviously he's still young, so it's going to take a bit of time for him to get more into like his rhythm and stuff. And it's only the start of the season. There's only 4 games in, so there's still a lot more to expect from Skip. But definitely, I feel like he was trying. Like, every player was trying, but him more so. Just said things just weren't happening for him. Even Hobby, I also gave him a 6. I definitely feel like the defensive side was good. Obviously, going forward was lacking. The creativity, there was just no creativity. We basically the only midfield we had was for the defence for like the first half, and then both of them kind of fell apart after Tanganga got sent off. But there's just no creativity, and obviously we have loads of players missing, so that's the reason why. People might say like, oh, and Ndombele's on the bench, and like, yeah, that's true. And Hill's also on the bench, which is also true. But like, I will get into it because that's what I kind of want to discuss at the end. But there's just, that was our problem. I think the midfield, there's no like creativity going on, and everything we're trying, there was just nothing's coming off. Moving on to Delhi, I asked a game of 6. Defensive side, good, making blocks and stuff. And I feel like that's what his role is more so now than what it was previously. He's more defensive at the moment, so that's what I give marks on. But his passing, I have to admit, was a bit off. Like, his passing wasn't that great. Didn't really make an impact in the final third that much. It's kind of disappointing, but I could say that about most of the players anyways. But yeah, he just, good game first half. Second half, similar with most people, just fell apart. Moving to Mora. Now, I gave Mora a 7. Now, I feel like he was the main spark in the team. Non-stop running, basically the only spark we had. I feel like he was the only player like really, really trying to, and he had a shot, got saved. And I feel like because he was just the one that was trying to do much, and he was like running at players, you know, dribbling with the ball, like he was trying to make stuff happen, and you could see that. Like, I don't know what other people thought of Mora, but I thought he played good. I mean, obviously he didn't get a goal, he didn't get an assist, he didn't like anything like that. But he was trying to do stuff, and I feel like he deserves credit because if anyone was going to get a goal or anything, or create something, it would have been him. So he gets a 7 from me. And now moving on to Kane. This is so difficult because I gave him a 5. Okay, 5. Obviously there was lack of service, there was no creativity, so there was lack of service, and he couldn't really get into the game. I barely saw him, to be honest. I don't know where he was, but he wasn't on the pitch, but he was a bit non-existent, let's be honest. But I do feel kind of sorry for him because he was a bit isolated. I feel like he was missing Son. I feel like we were all missing Son, but yeah, he did. And people were like, oh, like he doesn't care, like he's just, you know, he's not bothered anymore, like he's checked out. But I don't think so. I think everyone kind of, their levels dropped. So I'm not going to get onto Kane's back just because he had a bad performance, just like most people. So I'm not going to do that. Now moving on to, I think he was only sub, Davies, all apart from Rodon obviously, but that was so early on. Davies, I gave Davies a 4. Obviously he had that handball which gave away the penalty. He didn't really do much to help the team after coming on anyways, but the handball, for me personally, in the rules it states penalty, but in my eyes not penalty. But obviously it's going to be given because it was a penalty, because in the rules of the game it's a penalty, but for me no, but it is what it is. Before that, I don't think that Crystal Palace looked like they were going to score, but I think that sort of changed the game almost, because after that winning I was like, you know what, we ain't going to win, we ain't going to get anything out of this game, so I just kind of accepted it. So as soon as like the second and third went in, I was just sort of, you know, whatever, you know what I mean, like I wasn't really, I mean, I wouldn't say I wasn't bothered, but I didn't really, I'm used to it, you know. Yeah, so that is my player ratings. Before I do end this video, I feel like we do need to discuss Nuno and some other things. So with Nuno, he's getting a lot of stick for like the team, for like the loss, and I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? Because I don't blame Nuno for us losing that game, like I don't. And people say, oh, you didn't bring on Ndombele, you didn't bring on, you know, you're like, are you forgetting that Eric Dyer got injured 10 minutes in, so that's 1 sub already. So there's like 2 subs to make, so like, So then he's got to think about it carefully, you know what I mean? So first things first. So if we discuss NAA situation. So after Kane's attempts to leave the club, right, Nuno was praised for not pushing him straight back into the starting lineup. So why is it when it comes to Ndombele, who also stated that he wanted to leave and was actively trying to leave and we were trying to get rid of him, and he's always lacked the right attitude at this club because he's struggled under like three managers now, or 4 if you count Emerson. But Nuno's in the wrong and slated for not putting him in a starting 11. Why is that? Why is it different between Harry Kane, who is basically only striker unless you count Dane Scarlett, compared to Ndombele, when there are other players around him who can like for that position? Obviously people say like, oh, Ndombele, obviously he's got talent. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that he hasn't got talent, but he hasn't shown the right attitude, and he hasn't played a minute this season, whereas Winks has, and he played well last game. So I can understand why Nuno would put him in the team instead of Ndombele, because he doesn't trust Ndombele. Obviously he's still young, he's inexperienced, so I can understand why he didn't start, and he hasn't started a Premier League game, so why would this be different, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like, who are you going to take off? I mean, the only player that I think you could have potentially taken off is Winks or Dele, but Dele was doing good defensively, so and he was making vlogs, so, and you need a balance, you know? So I'm not understanding like what the whole issue is, because I guaranteed if we won that game, no one would have a problem with the starting lineup. No one would have cared, like no one would have mentioned it. But considering we lost and we have all these issues to come into this game which we knew about, it's now suddenly, oh, it's his fault. Now, after the first 3 games, all Spurs fans were happy. I didn't really have a problem with the style of play, but again, after one bad performance, some fans have a complete and utter meltdown, especially on Twitter. I feel like it's always Twitter. It's always on Twitter. I don't know if it's on Instagram because I haven't really been on Instagram lately, but Twitter, it's always there. And like some people, I've seen this, are already talking about Nuno getting a sack. I'm sorry. Are we not 4 games into the season? He's been here what? Has he even been probably like what, just over 2 months? And you're already talking about him getting the sack? Like, I don't know what's going through your head, but you need to calm down. The season has barely started, and you're already getting on his back. Did we not just? I just don't get it. Like, it does not make sense to me. And we knew when Nuno was coming in, this was going to be a process, and we're going into another project. We knew this already. So why are some fans expecting miracles to happen straight away? Why? Because it ain't happening, guys. It ain't happening. You expect us to what? Challenge for top 4? You expect us like what? Obviously, you expect a good performance. I expected a good performance. But to completely lose your heads over one game, you're doing too much. Obviously, they weren't not even taking into account all the issues we had coming into this game. So let's just, like, I'm sure you already know the issues, but if I, say them again, then maybe you might calm down a bit. So Sonnenberg and Session were injured. Cesar Romero Sanchez in Croatia due to COVID-related issues. And then 10 minutes into the game, Dyer gets injured, which didn't look good, but there we go. Tanganga gets sent off, and we had to play the rest of the game with 10 men. That obviously isn't going to help us win that game. Obviously, if this sort of performance was happening with a full-foot squad, then yeah, you would have more a case to be concerned. However, this isn't this situation. So what are you doing? Like if we had a full-foot squad, these performances, I don't think would be happening, because you saw the Man City game. We played well, and we played well against Watford. We played well against Wolves. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but it's too much. Honestly, I don't get it. The solution to this can't be just to keep sacking managers who come in Because we ain't going to get anyone better. Like, who would we have got instead of Nuno? Anyone, like, who's better than Nuno? Tell me, because I don't know. Like, people need to realise that Nuno deserves time to build a squad he wants, and all of the issues we have can't be solved within one transfer window. They can't. It's rebuilding, and that's what we're doing. We're rebuilding the squad, and that's going to take time. So you need to calm down. You need to give Nuno time to do what he wants to do with the squad. You need to relax. I get it. It's your club and you're upset we lost, like, fine, whatever. But for the love of God, please just don't lose your heads over one game. Okay? It's been one game, which was a bad result. And at this moment in time, we're 1 point off top. Like, obviously, I'm disappointed we lost. You can be disappointed we lost. You can be disappointed with the players, whatever. But to take it over the top just seems ridiculous. So, you know, I'm not asking you to, you know, completely, like, be completely positive about the whole situation. But don't slate people just because of one game, you know. That's kind of what I had to say on the situation. Just one more thing before I end this video. I just thought of it right now because this annoys me as well. So, you know, when we lose, you have Spurs official tweeting, social media, or like on Instagram or wherever it is. Why is it some fans get annoyed? Because it's not the social media team's fault that we lost the game or anything. So why can't they tweet? Why can't they post? Like, I get it, we lost, but their job is to post. So why are you telling them not to post when that's their job? That's what they're meant to do. Like, they do it if we win, draw, lose. Like, it's gonna happen. I just don't get some people, especially these type fans. Like, I'm sick of seeing it. I'm just like, yeah, we lost. But if they're gonna post about someone's debut, they're gonna post about someone's debut. Like, it was their debut, even though we lost. They would have posted it if we won. They would have posted it if we even draw the game. So, lay off. It's my little rant plus play ratings. Be sure to let me know what your feelings are down below. If you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, let me know. Let me have it, guys. We are going to forget about the Crystal Palace game, and we're going to move on to Thursday's game, which is against Rennes. I think it's live on BT Sports, so there will be a live watch along, so look out for that. I may do a predicted lineup. I may do. It's going to be hard to... Actually, no, it's not going to be hard to predict who's going to start, but look out for a predicted lineup. There might be one. I haven't fully decided yet. I haven't done one since like the Man City game, so it's going to be a bit weird. But I will definitely let you guys know on my Twitter, which is always linked down below, as well as my social media, whether a like predicted lineup is coming up. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.